Hello, I'm Dara Halpin, the founder of Sheela.ie, and you are very, very welcome to our YouTube channel at Sheela Women. This week is Mental Health Awareness Week, and the theme for this year is Movement for Mental Health. Now, movement is something we can all access that can make a huge impact on both your physical and your mental health. But if you're struggling with symptoms of pelvic floor issues like leaks, incontinence pain, or prolapse, then finding the right movement that might work for you can be a little tricky. In this week's video, I'm going to talk you through some movement strategies that are really going to help to get you moving and help you reap all of those mental health benefits too. Let's get started. The first thing to address is that women with pelvic floor issues are less likely to exercise. In one study, 2 out of 3 women who identified incontinence or prolapse as barriers to exercise had stopped exercising entirely. Now, this is really sad news because inactivity or not doing regular exercise is linked to increased risk of diabetes, stroke, heart disease, and cancer. If you have symptoms of pelvic floor issues like leaks, incontinence, prolapse, or pain, that is a sign that something in your body isn't working quite the way it should be. The first step for anybody with these symptoms is to have an in-person medical assessment with a qualified professional, preferably someone who has a specialism in this area, like a women's health physiotherapist or a pelvic health physiotherapist. They can give you an in-person, personalised treatment plan that will help you build the strength and stamina you need for any physical activity you want to explore. We are all different, so this kind of individual advice is invaluable. The next step is to get to know yourself a bit better. Pay attention to the signs and signals your body is sending you. When are you symptomatic? Are there any triggers that you can identify? Is there any pattern to your symptoms? It makes sense to avoid activities that are triggers if you can while you're building your strength and your flexibility. If you are worried about leaks when you're exercising, then you might want to wear a pad or some incontinence pads while you're doing that activity. Choose a product that's made of natural fibres like cotton or bamboo. These are breathable and that will help you to avoid yeast infections or other irritations like chafing. You might want to consider reusable incontinence pants. They're really invisible underneath your leggings. They definitely won't move around no matter what kind of movement that you're doing, and they're really great for maintaining hygiene while you're exercising. I made a whole video all about these and I will put a link to that just below this video. You might also want to consider some additional support for your pelvic floor muscles while you're exercising. You can get shorts and leggings that have built-in compression specifically for the pelvic floor muscles. This helps to support those muscles while you're exercising or moving around. And if you're interested in those kind of garments, I have an exclusive discount code that you can access in my Instagram profile. So I'll link to that below this video. You could also ask your pelvic health physiotherapist or your gynecologist about pessaries. These are small devices that sit inside the vagina and support the pelvic organs from below. You can feel them while they're in, and some of them can stay in place for up to 6 months. So these can be a game changer for people. There is a bit of trial and error to these, so you need to have a bit of to and fro with your professional, but they can really, really help. Once you've got all your protection in place and you're aware of what might trigger your symptoms, then you're ready to start exercising. You're looking for a type of exercise that will build strength and flexibility in your pelvic floor, but won't overload these muscles with additional pressure. Yoga and Pilates are great places to start. These types of exercise prioritize strength in the core and lots of stretching, and this helps the pelvic floor build both strength and length. With pelvic floor function, we're always looking for flexibility and tone, not tightness, and yoga and Pilates are great for achieving that. In many yoga poses and Pilates exercises, you can add a pelvic floor squeeze to the movement, and this will boost the effectiveness of that squeeze and give you a well-earned break from those Kegel exercises. If you want to know how to achieve that, you can learn that skill on our Pelvic Floor Connection course. That's an on-demand course you can do in your own time, and I'll put the link for that below this video. Always let your teacher know what's going on for you and ask for modifications if you think a particular exercise might trigger your symptoms. If you want to try some exercise that gets your heart rate going a little bit more, then you might want to avoid exercise with lots of impact. Impact exercise like running and jumping can add additional pressure to the pelvic floor muscles. Studies have shown that when you're running, your pelvic floor is supporting 3 to 4 times your body weight and 5 to 12 times your body weight if you're jumping. This kind of added pressure is going to make your muscles tire over time, and tired pelvic floor muscles aren't able to contract as strongly, which means more leaks. Now, it is absolutely possible to work up to these activities if you really want to, but you will need to build your strength and your stamina slowly over time, and you may need some professional support to help you get there. In the meantime, there are lots of good low-impact cardio alternatives like cycling and swimming. Another thing to be aware of is that women with prolapse are often advised not to lift weights or anything heavy in case it makes their symptoms worse. Now, this advice is the opposite of what women are being told as they age. Women over 40 are advised to do resistance or load-bearing exercise in order to prevent muscle loss, which coincides with the dip in estrogen levels that we all go through in perimenopause and menopause. If you have a prolapse, it is possible to lift weights in a healthy way, but you will need to be very, very mindful of your technique. Get some professional guidance from a specialist physiotherapist. Call ahead and ask if they can help you devise a suitable weight training program that's mindful of your prolapse. Start really, really small. Perfect the movements before you add the weights, and then slowly add small weights over time. This kind of exercise not only protects your whole body from loss of muscle, which is essential to prevent falls as we get older, but it can also improve your prolapse symptoms. So it is worth doing, but you need to do it mindfully. Whatever exercise you choose, make sure that you stretch before and after. This improves the blood flow to your muscles and allows them to grow stronger and more flexible. This is especially important for your pelvic floor muscles. You can really improve your flexibility and responsiveness with regular stretching. And we have some great pelvic floor stretch videos in our pelvic floor basics series, and I'll pop a link to that series below this video too. Movement or exercise is most successful when it's enjoyable. If you enjoy yourself when you move your body, you're much more likely to repeat that exercise and make it part of your routine. Movement or exercise that makes your symptoms worse is not only not enjoyable and uncomfortable, but it could also be increasing your anxiety and stress levels if you're worried about things getting worse. Whatever type of movement you decide to try, you can rest assured that even if it's just a daily 10-minute walk, you are getting the benefits of improved heart and lung health, reduced stress and anxiety, reduced cancer risk, and of course, improved mental health. As you explore the different types of movement to support your mental and your physical health, I've got a few tips that are going to keep you on track. Number 1, try new things. Follow your curiosity here. You're much more likely to find something you enjoy if you're following what you're interested in the first place. Number 2, start small. You want to start with things you can already do. You want to be getting that sense of achievement really early on. So make sure you don't go all guns blazing and tire yourself out and not be able to do anything for the rest of the week. You don't want your body to be sore and tired. Start small and make it repeatable. Number 3, set achievable goals. Having a goal before you start to exercise means that when you get to the end of your session, you can have that sense of satisfaction. Make these goals manageable. If you're building strength or flexibility or endurance, build it up very, very slowly. That way you're staying within your capabilities and not going to overtire or overtax your muscles as you go. A great way to do this is to join a class. You can use that class to say, okay, I'm going to do 4 classes in the next 4 weeks, and that is an achievable goal for me. Number 4, bring a friend. Everything is easier with a friend along for the ride. This person is going to help you stay motivated. You can share your woes, you can share your successes, and it's going to make the whole thing a lot more enjoyable. Number 5, make it part of your routine. If your exercise or movement is part of your daily or weekly routine, it makes it much more difficult to give it a skip when you're not feeling in the mood. Something that's really helped me is the idea of doing my exercise early and often. I try to get up early 5 days a week and do 20 to 30 minutes before the rest of the house is up. Now, I know that sounds like a huge achievement, but 20 minutes isn't a big commitment. And I find it so much easier to do it before my day starts, and then I don't have it looming over me as the day goes on. Number 6, listen to your body. We are all unique, and what works for one person is not going to work necessarily for the next person. You are the only person inside your body. You are the only person who knows what your limits are. Listen to your body. If things get tough, or maybe your symptoms are triggered a little, it doesn't mean you cannot exercise. It might mean you need to do a few less reps of that particular movement. It might mean you need to make adjustments to that particular movement to make it more suitable for you and your unique circumstances. You don't need to quit just because it gets difficult. Number 7, be kind to yourself. If you're really not feeling it, if you're having a bad day, if your body doesn't feel like it's working in the way it usually does, don't force yourself to do what you had planned. Go with what your body needs at that particular moment. Whatever you choose to do, a little really does go a long way. This is about moving our body every day in a way that feels good to us. That's it for this week's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for joining us. Before I let you go, I have one more resource that I'd really like to share with you. To support Mental Health Awareness Week this year, we are running a 5-day journaling workshop that is totally free to join. Journaling is a proven method that improves stress, anxiety, and depression symptoms. It's also a great way to start building your connection to yourself. If that's something that interests you, you'll find the link for that below this video. Thank you so much for watching.